On this week's Throwdown, Calorina demos the workout.
We've got muscle ups, shoulder to overhead, and box jumps.
We announce these workouts every Thursday right here on YouTube at
1 p.m. Join our entire community to practice the skill of competing.
Use the next 2 days to plan a strategy, grab some friends, and throw down on Saturday.
See where you stack up each week on our Throwdown leaderboard. It's free to sign up. Go to trainingthinktank.com/throwdown.
This week's workout is a 7-minute AMRAP. Starts with 3 ring muscle ups, then 6 shoulder to overhead, and 9 box jumps.
As always, we highly recommend that you have a judge for this workout, so ask a friend to do it with you. You guys can judge each other. For the movement standards this week, the muscle ups, make sure that you're fully locked out with arms extended at the top. For the shoulder to overhead, it has to touch your shoulders at the bottom, and then full extension of the hips, knees, and arms overhead. For the box jumps, you are allowed to step down, but you must have a 2-foot jump onto the box, and then make sure that you're under control with hips extended at the top.
You sound like you're gonna run out of breath. Some context for Calorina as an athlete. So she's on the larger end of female athletes in the sport. She's also one of the most powerful athletes in the sport. So she's definitely more of a sprint style workout, which means gymnastics is a major limitation for her relative to her goals of trying to make it to the CrossFit Games as an individual athlete. So use that as context as you're making your strategy for yourself.
And I'm gonna do my best not to run out of breath this time. This week we have another podcast coming out on Wednesday. It is going to be
it came out yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
Today's Thursday.
It's Thursday, but it's Monday when we're doing this. I'm so confused. It's about 3 training or non-training related books that have changed the way that we coach. Max, tell us about
You
it.
definitely should watch this episode because Adam goes off on a tangent about incest, and you're gonna want to hear what he has to say.
Oh my. Well, on Saturday, we're going to Instagram live the throwdown workout that we just talked about, or going to talk about. We're going to talk about this workout. Someone cool is going to do it. We're not sure who, but check it out around 10 a.m. Let's see Cal's strategy.
My strategy is to not blow up. I want to go unbroken on the muscle ups. That's my goal. Not let my heart rate get too high on box jumps, because typically box jumps are something that'll blow me up. So I want to work on that transition time between finishing the box jumps and jumping up for the muscle ups. The shoulder to overheads aren't going to be that big of a deal. So really this one for me is just transition time between movements.
My strategy is always to not blow up.
Yeah, that's just a goal. I was like, I don't know how I call that a strategy.
When I saw this originally, all I was thinking is that is so much shoulders, but I guess maybe the box jumps will alleviate some of that.
Yeah.
It's the movement that takes the longest, so you do get a good amount of time that you're not using your shoulders.
Yeah, but that's where I'm gonna die in this workout.
Yeah, I agree. You're right about saying longest, because it would take me 30 seconds to do 9 every single time.
Yeah. So she rebounds all these. I think for a lot of people, especially if you're limited in gymnastics, this might be a step down type movement. It just doesn't make sense to go fast. But if you're elite and you know you can go fast, rebound is going to be a huge separator for people.
Yeah, I mean, you can make up so much time on the box by landing and then just getting hip extension while your feet are still on the box and then going down right away.
Yeah.
So I was judging her, obviously. A note on the muscle ups. Sometimes she locks out as she's falling away. I didn't no-rep her on any of those because we didn't really set a specific standard. And also I think that standard is kind of subjective. But just something to keep in mind when you're training, you might want to be a little more strict on that, because if you do get a judge in competition that is strict on that standard, getting a no-rep on a muscle up, that's a lot of work.
Super costly and time. I mean, I've been to a lot of competitions and seen a lot of elite athletes up close in person do muscle ups, and I think a lot of them, for speed, default to that as they're locking out as they're falling back, including Frazier, Noah, people that are really good at muscle ups. But I think if you do get to, if you do notice yourself doing that, putting some training time in where you have a little pause at the top and it's very clear is beneficial, so that you don't get into a situation like 30 muscle ups for time at the games a couple years ago. There were people that did 35 muscle ups, which was that's almost unfair at that point in that workout.
So Cal is super strong, and 85-pound shoulder to overhead is like a feather to her. But for most people who are going to be limited on the muscle-ups, I wouldn't recommend push pressing the whole time. I think that that's just a little bit too much shoulder fatigue. If
You
you're
go into
gonna-
push jerks.
Yeah, if you're going to be limited
Yeah.
on muscle ups.
I actually find for myself, I mean, I guess I'm kind of in the same position, but that push presses are just
that you're strong like Cal.
well, definitely not strong like that, but just stronger overhead than most CrossFitters.
Right.
So push press sometimes feels easier for me in terms of managing my heart rate.
Yeah, and the other thing could be just time under tension, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're really sloppy with your push jerks, then maybe do push press. Or what I would do is maybe 3 rounds of push press to get a couple out of the way quickly, and then go into like a push jerk or a pseudo push jerk where you're barely dipping underneath.
So her transition times are still really quick. She talked in her strategy about making the box jump to muscle up a little bit slower, but she seems to be still pretty quick, and we're 3 minutes into 7, so almost at the halfway point. So well done thus far relative to her don't blow up strategy.
Yeah.
I still contend that's not a strategy. End
Right.
goal.
It definitely helps with having fast transitions. I think too, like back to the muscle ups. For those that are at least decent at muscle ups, you might surprise yourself that you can always do 3 unbroken. So like I would push the pace early on, just kind of see where you're at, and if you feel like, okay, I'm about to fail, that's when you take a longer break after the box.
Yeah, so that was an 11-second transition there. So obviously, like, you know, a Noah or somebody like Tia would probably just go box, walk over, jump up, and it'd probably be like 3 to 5 seconds. So over the course of a bunch of rounds, that would add up to a lot of extra work. But I still think an 11-second transition is pretty solid for a workout like this that's heavily gymnastics limited.
One of the things that Mia's talked about a lot is finding a place to transition fast. And so for some people that may be, you know, to the rings, to the box, to the bar. For me, I definitely would go from the rings and as quickly as I could get over to the bar, because I know I can do 6 fast every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would treat this as like almost like I'm getting through the round as fast as I can, and then I have a set rest before the muscle ups, and then fast through the round, rest before the muscle ups. But I'm very limited by muscle ups, so
I think I'd actually agree with you on that and do that same thing, but not because I'm muscle up limited, but more because I think the box jumps would blow my heart rate up. So if I tried to keep my heart rate elevated that whole time, I would just probably not be able to endure for 7
would
minutes.
you step down on the box?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would. It's funny, like double unders and box jumps are the 2 things that they seem so simple, but they like really jack my heart rate up.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting workout because it's pretty quick, but it's got a lot of different types of limiters built into it. I think there might be people that are going to have to start breaking these muscle up sets as well. So that's something to think about if you are going to have to do 2-1 or 1-1-1 in a workout structure like this. You might think about fast transition, get up there, do 1 muscle up, come down, and then start building your rest breaks in. So it's going to be a different type of workout if you can't do it unbroken the whole time.
So, not really related to Cal, but if you are doing this workout and you're someone who can only do 1 muscle up at a time, I wrote a version of this for some of my on-site athletes where I changed it to 1 ring muscle up per round, and then after the workout had them rest, maybe I said 3 or 5 minutes, and then accumulate just singles until they get to, I think I said 20 total reps. And I think that's a better way if you're wanting to work on improving your muscle ups in a workout versus just standing there and spending 2 minutes on your first set of muscle ups.
Look at you coming up with creative strategies to get people better.
What are you
I like
talking
it.
about?
So creative.
I don't know.
The one thing to kind of follow along on the note that Max just made about getting up there quickly, I think that's important for any movement that we're doing in CrossFit. So if you know you're going to break something up, get transition as quickly as you can and just do that 1, 2, 3 reps, whatever it may be. Obviously with muscle ups, you're talking about like doing singles or maybe 2 and then 1, but a fast transition and at least getting more reps done before taking that break makes more sense.
All right, so 40 seconds left. This is going to be a tough workout too, to have like a traditional finishing kick, because it's not really like energy system. I mean, it is energy system limited, but you're probably going to be limited by a movement in there, most likely gymnastics and muscle ups. So it's going to be tough to kind of speed up. But her cadence and transition, let's see if it picks up here for the last 15, 20 seconds. Yeah. All right.
She definitely was urgent to
Yeah.
finish these.
For sure.
This is the end of round 8.
Yes.
All right. Let's see if she
Pushing.
tries to get to the muscle ups. No.
Nah, we're close. Nice job, Cal.
After you, Project Pat.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pata in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Let it be known what it be known, what it be known, you know what I'm saying? Pata.